PTO Central, a time-off system built in-house for how we actually work. Every company solves time off twice, once with a spreadsheet and again with the email thread arguing about what the spreadsheet says. Both are guesses, and when the guess is wrong, it is someone's vacation. So we started where the friction starts, with the person asking for the time. One place to go, on any device, with a password reset that doesn't require a phone call to IT. This is what an employee sees, not a number someone typed into a cell. A live balance accrued to today for all 4 kinds of leave we offer. Vacation, sick, personal, and Chicago paid leave, which the city requires us to track separately and accrue by the hour. The bar shows what has been earned so far this year against the full entitlement. No one has to ask HR what they have. They already know. When they request time, they see the month before they pick a date. Federal holidays are already excluded, so nobody burns a vacation day on a day the office is closed. Their own approved time is on the calendar. Half the back and forth in the old process was people discovering a conflict after they'd asked. Here, they see it first. And the rules are enforced where the decision is made, not after. Personal days and Chicago paid leave are hard capped. The request can't exceed the balance because the ordinance says it can't. Vacation and sick show a warning instead, and let a manager use judgment. The system knows the difference. Then they get this, branded, readable on a phone, and specific. What was requested, which days, how many. Every state change sends one, submitted, approved, denied, canceled. Nobody is left wondering whether the request went anywhere. The second person, in every time off decision, is the one who has to make it. A manager finds out the moment a request arrives, not at the end of the week. And the email carries the context. Who, when, how long. So a simple approval never requires opening a laptop to understand. When they do open it, the decision has everything attached. The request and the employee's real balance beside it. That second part is the whole difference. A manager approving 3 days can see it's 3 days this person has actually earned. Approve, deny with a reason, or cancel. And every one of those is written to an audit trail we can read back later. And coverage stops being a memory exercise. This is the team by month, color-coded by leave type. Before approving, a manager can see who else is already out. It sounds small. It's the single question that used to require 3 messages to answer. Records tell you what happened. We wanted the system to tell us what's about to. Reporting covers the questions you'd expect. Balances by person, usage by team, history over any range, exported to CSV or PDF for anyone who wants it in a spreadsheet after all. This is the floor, not the ceiling. This is the ceiling. Utilization measured against the year we've actually had, not the year we'll eventually finish. So a team isn't flagged as burned out in March for the crime of it being March. And balance is shown as a distribution, because an average hides the person who's overdrawn. The most asked question in the company, answered on one screen, who is out over the next 2 weeks? Not a report you run, a panel you glance at. And this one earns its place. Sick time carries over to a cap of 60 hours, Chicago paid leave to 16. Anything above that is lost on December 31st. This tells us in August who is on track to lose time, while there's still time to do something about it. That is the difference between a record and a warning. Underneath all of it is the part nobody sees until they need it. One launcher, grouped by what you're trying to do. Operations, people, insight, system. Every tile is gated to the person's actual permissions, so nobody is offered a door that won't open for them. Adding someone takes one form. Department, role, hire date, location, and their balances are calculated from that on the spot. Their accrual tier comes from their hire date. Their Chicago paid leave comes from their city. Nobody computes a starting balance by hand, which means nobody computes one wrong. Administrators can create, edit, or remove time on someone's behalf for the corrections that real life produces. Every one of those actions is logged with who did it and why, because an adjustment nobody can trace is how a balance dispute becomes unresolvable. This screen is the part I'd point at if you only look at one. It's the full policy, accrual rates, carryover caps, which leave types can be overdrawn and which can't. And it isn't a document someone maintains alongside the code. It's generated from the code that enforces the rules. The policy on this screen cannot drift from what the system actually does, because they're the same thing. Every message the system sends can be previewed here before it reaches anyone. What you approve is literally what employees receive. And then there's the question every internal system eventually gets asked. What happens when something goes wrong? Backups run nightly on a schedule, with retention we set, and they can be downloaded off the server, because a backup that only exists on the machine it's protecting isn't a backup. Restores run inside a transaction. They either fully succeed, or nothing changes and it says so. We can see who is signed in and end a session. Every session for one person if a password is ever compromised. Locked accounts can be released in a click instead of a 15-minute wait. Sessions expire after 30 minutes idle, matching the policy we wrote down. Every action here is audited. And this one hangs on the wall in the tech room. Full screen, no login, refreshing on its own, who's in, who's out, all day, without anyone asking anyone. It's the most used screen we built, and nobody ever logs into it. A note on how this is maintained, because it's the reason I trust it. Every release verifies that all 39 pages render for every role inside the production container before it's called done. Every bug we've found is written down with what it cost and what we learned. That discipline is why the numbers on these screens are worth believing. PTO Central is live, it's ours, and it's the template the next system we build starts from. Thank you for watching.